Hi everybody and happy Thursday. Welcome back to your maths learning with me this week. So let's get started with our first question for today. So we're going to do a quick rewind. And I want you to have a look at this question here, okay? The key bit, the most important bit at the bottom is don't answer it yet. Okay, this is just a rewind of what you are going to have to do to solve this problem. You can see I've given you a little clue in here. So explain it glasses on first. What are you going to have to do to solve this problem? And then prove it. Could you draw the bar model that would represent how you would solve this problem? Okay, so think about your parts, think about your wholes. A is Mr. Lopez and Miss Hall share the 64 tickets equally. How many tickets does each class get? Okay, so there's your problem. There's a key word in there that will give you an idea. So what are you going to have to do to solve this problem? The next one is B. Again, remember, don't answer it yet. B is there are 48 children at the fair. They all go on the roller coaster together. How many cars will they need in total? So you're going to have to use a little bit of inference. You're going to have to retrieve, sorry, not inference. You're going to have to retrieve something from that picture to help you with that question. Remember, I do not want you to answer it yet. I want you to explain how you're going to answer it, what method you might want to use, and then prove it. So drawing that bar model that shows me what you are going to do. Okay, remember, do not answer it yet. Okay, then come on back when you've had a go at those. Okay, so I'm hoping you've had a little go at that and you have noticed that this new part of our learning now is going to be focusing on division. Okay, so today we're going to be using a range of division strategies. So it's going to be rewinding lots of those old methods. Okay, so old learning is retrieved. And why? So that we can divide up to a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number. Okay, so just like we did with our multiplication, we're going to work our way up. So we're just going to be thinking about any methods that you might know how to use already to divide. So we're going to go back to that question now. And this time you're going to pop your use it glasses on and you are actually going to get to answer question A and question B. So are there any methods that you could use? Okay, I've given you some little clues here in our red box that you might remember methods that you've seen before that you might want to have a go at. Okay, so this one, I want you to have a go at using a few different methods. I just want you to rewind that knowledge to have a go at using a few different methods just to see and check your answers. Okay, just have a practice of those different methods. So here you might want to have a go at partitioning. You might want to have a go at grouping. There is your short division there if you remember how to do that. If not, don't worry, we are going to be focusing on that soon. So if you don't know how to use that method, don't use it yet. Use ones that you do know how to use. Okay, you might even want to use your times tables for one of them, the inverse. Okay, so Mr. Lopez and Miss Hall share 64 tickets equally between their two classes. How many tickets do they get each? So can you write me that number sentence for me? Prove it with your workings out underneath. And then what I would like you to do is to get the answer, but then have a go at a different method to see if you can get the same answer. If you've done more than one method, what I want you to do is just have a little evaluate it to see if there was a method that you were better at, you were stronger at, or the one that you just simply preferred. When you've had to go at question A, you can then apply those same methods to question B. So B is a little bit more thinking. You need to do a little bit more thinking for that one. But I'm pretty sure that you can get the answer for both of them. Then come on back when you've had a go and I will show you some of those methods that you may have done or the ones that you may not have done to see how you've got on. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at that. So the first method that I'm going to focus on is my partitioning method. So we did exactly the same method for our multiplication. We're going to use the same method to divide. So my whole is going to be 64 because that's how many tickets they've got. Okay, I'm going to partition 64 hang on, let me write my number sentence first so I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to do 64 and they're sharing it between their two classes. So dividing by 2. Okay, I'm going to partition the number 64 into its tens and its ones. So I can partition it. It's got 60 in this part and it's got 4 on that part. Okay, now to get my answer here, just like we did with multiplication, we partition our whole and then we divide each part by 2. So 60 divided by 2. Again, I can use my dividing by my making it 10 times smaller. So let's make it 10 times smaller. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then I can make it 10 times bigger for my answer. 30. And 4 divided by 2. I'm hoping that you all can all do that. It is 2. To get my final answer, you then add them back together. 64 divided by 2 is 32. Okay, so hopefully you are all rewinding that method. You have all seen that method before and you should all be able to apply that method. Okay, the next method you might have done, which has taken me a lot longer than my partitioning method, so I don't think I would use this method just because of the time that it would take me to do. I've got my 64 dots. I've done dots. You could do anything. You could draw it. You could draw the ticket. And I'm grouping them into groups of 2. See how many? 32. So I still got the same answer, but it is a very, very long method, just like your sharing method. So I might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 24, 25, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 40, 42, 43, 40, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. A very, very long method then. My arm is absolutely killing, but I have still used the method. I've shared those 64 tickets, those holes, into those 2 parts, and now I just need to count how many they will get each. 1, 2, 3. This is where there is lots of scope to make lots of little mistakes by not counting them properly or not sharing them properly. So I would refrain from doing these methods because your numbers are going to get bigger. You are not going to be able to do all of those dots, but it is still a method that you could use. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 19, 20, 21, 22, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay, so I've got the same answer from all of those methods, but you are already starting to see which methods are going to be the more accurate ones, the more appropriate ones to be using. Think about your numbers in this lesson are going to be a lot bigger than 64, and imagine how long these 2 methods took. Okay, so the final method that you may have used, I'm going to show you by getting the answer to question B. So the answer to question A was 32. The answer to question B, now I needed to work out actually what the question was asking me. So I know that there are 48 children, so that is going to be my whole, okay? In fact, rather than doing it like that, I'm going to do it in a bar model. 48 is my whole there, okay? So you can see that. Let me just move my camera up a little bit. So 48 is my whole. They all go on the roller coaster together. How many cars will they need in total? So I need to now look at the cars in the picture. Okay, so can you see the cars there? So how many children will be going in each car? My answer is 4 children in each car. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do is to put 4 children in, 4 children, 4 children in each car. So I need to divide the answer by 4. So I'm going to group those children into 4. Okay, and that is going to show me how many. Okay, so we're going to go for question B now. So there are 48 children in total, and I am then going to put them into those cars to see how many cars I would need. So how many children can go in each car? Have a little look at the picture there. 4 children in each car. Okay, so to work out how many cars I need, I would need to divide 48 by 4 to then give me the amount of cars that I would need. Okay, so imagine those 48 children are stood in front of me. I'm going to put them into groups of 4. Off you go, off you go, off you go, off you go. And then that will let me see how many cars that we will need to get. So there's my number sentence, okay? You could do your partition methods. That's the first method I'm going to go for. I'm not going to do my sharing or grouping because that's going to take me a very long time and my arm is still aching from the last question. So I'm just going to go straight away, 48. I partition my larger number into 40 and 8, and I divide each part by 4. Okay, I already know that straight away because that's my times tables. 4 times by 2 is 8. I'm using my inverse there to help me. Now, 4 times by something is 40. How many lots of 4 go into 40? I know straight away that that is 10. So my answer from my partitioning method should be 12. So well done if you got that right using that method. Now, what we're going to do is we're now going to have a little look at our short division. Okay, so I'm hoping that you have all seen this before. If not, I'm going to show you how it works. So some might hear it called the bus stop method because it looks a little bit like a bus stop. Okay, but it's still short division. On the outside here goes the number that you are dividing by. So here in this question, I'm dividing by 4. Okay, and in here, you write the number that you are dividing, your 48. Now, to help you with this method, a great thing to do is to draw your place value counters. Okay, so here I've got 4 10s. So 10, 10, 10, and 10. And here I've got 8 1s. Okay, this is a really helpful skill to see how this method works. Now, simply to do my short division, you simply see how many lots of 4 you can make. So it doesn't matter whether it's 10s, whether it's hundreds, whether it's thousands, it's how many groups of 4 you can make. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is all of my counters there. So how many lots of 4 10s have I got? 1. Okay, now because I'm working in my 10s column, my answer stays in that 10s column. Okay, so effectively here, you're doing 40 divided by 4. How many 4s go into 40? 10. 1 10. Okay, so this one here, what number sentence am I working out here? I'm in my 1s column. I've got 8 1s, and I am seeing how many lots of 4 I can make. So I'm doing 8 divided by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Group them off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Group them off. I've got 2 groups of 4. Oh, have a look at that. What answer did I get? Looks very familiar to that one. Now, just want to have a pause. Evaluate it, glasses on. Which of these 2 methods do you think is going to be the most efficient method for you to use? Which method is going to be the more efficient method? Okay, so I think the quickest and the easiest method, I would personally go this one, short division. Okay, but if you're more comfortable with your partitioning, that's absolutely fine. But there's just a little bit more working out, a little bit more brain power needed for this one than there is this one, because I'm simply just grouping. Okay, let's have a go then, and let's put that into practice. So question A, sorry, the answer was 32. And question B, your answer should have been 12. I would need 12 cards. Well done to you if you got those correct. Now, let's put that into practice. Wonderful. So let's have a little go at doing this ourselves then. If you think you are already really confident at using your short division, then just have a little go at this question and come on back when you want to see if you have got the correct answer. If you think I need a little bit of help with this method, Miss Dyson, I need you to show me how to use it, then this is for us to do together that you can copy into your blue books as we're going along, just like we would at school, okay? So, first things first, number sentence, 369 divided by 3. And I've just used the words in that problem there, just because it's very tricky to find a division symbol in your slides, just on a side note. So, first thing we do then is with our ruler, we are going to put our line down and a line across. Okay, this is where it gets its bus stop method name from, because it looks a little bit like a bus stop. So as we said, on the outside here is it my whole, or is it the number that I'm dividing by? Can you remember? It is the number that I'm dividing by. Okay, so I'm dividing by 3, so on the outside here goes 3. If I was dividing by 7, 7 would go on the outside. If I was dividing by 9, 9 would go on the outside. Okay, then inside the bus stop is your whole, so 369. Now, the first things first that helps us to really understand this method is by drawing your place value counters. Now, you will see throughout your questions today that PowerMath use their place value counters, which is why I am showing it you now, so it's not a shock to your system. Okay, so I've got 300, I've got 6 tens, 10, 10, 10. Now I could go and get my resources, but there's no difference from just drawing them into your books, because obviously you won't have these counters at home, but you can just draw them. You can use a pictorial representation instead. And 9 ones, I would choose a very big number with 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are my 9 1 counters. Okay, so with this method then, you are now seeing how many groups of 3 you can make with your counters. Okay, so like I said, it doesn't really matter whether it's hundreds, whether it's tens, whether it's ones, you are seeing how many lots of 3 you can make. Okay, the only thing that you need to remember is if you are doing how many 3s of these hundreds can you make, you write your answer in your hundreds column. Okay, because that's really going to help you with your understanding. Because actually here what we're doing is 3 divided by, no, not 3, goodness me, Miss Addison, the whole goes first, 300 divided by 3, which I'm going to say I can make 1 group of 3. So is my answer 1? No, the answer is 100. And I'm showing that my answer is 100 by putting a 1 in my hundreds column. Okay, so that's what that 1 stands for, 100. So 300 divided by 3 isn't 1, it's 100. But thinking about how many groups of 3 just makes this method a lot more simple for you. Okay, so now I've got 6 tens. So how many groups of 3 can you make in those counters? I can make 2 groups of 3, and it's in my tens column. So actually what I've done there is 60 divided by 3, and I've got 2 in my tens column, which we all know stands for 20. Okay, so this is what we're actually doing, but we're simplifying it so that this method is really nice and simple. The final one then, I've got 9 ones. I'm going to see how many groups of 3 I can make. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, circle them. 1, 2, 3 groups of 3. And that one is in my ones column, so that is simply 9 divided by 3 equals 3. Okay, so it's really important that you are putting them into the correct column. So if I'm dealing with my hundreds column, the division needs to go into the hundreds. Okay, if I'm dealing with the tens column, it needs to stay in that tens column. I don't then put my answer for this one over here. You need to imagine that there's that almost like that brick wall there that's keeping your columns separate, just like it would be in your column methods. Okay, so the answer to 369 divided by 3 is 123. Now I can prove that to you. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to put my prove it glasses on, and I'm going to do my partition method so I can show you that you can still get the same answer. So 369 divided by 3, partition my whole, which is 360 and 9. My number sentences, 300 divided by 3. I'm then going to do 60 divided by 3, and I'm going to do 9 divided by 3, which we already know 9 divided by 3 is 3. 6, I'm going to ignore that that's 60 for now. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then I need to make sure that my answer is 10 times bigger. And here, 3 divided by 3, I'm going to ignore my 100 there. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and make my answer 100 times bigger. Add those together, you've got 123. There is my prove it done. I can just tilt that down a little bit so you can see it. I can then confirm that the answer is 123 because 2 different methods have got me the same answer. Brilliant. Now, alongside using a different division method to see if you get the same answer, another way that you could prove it and check your answers is you could use the inverse operation. And as we know, we are doing divide. The inverse, the opposite of your divide operation, is your multiplication. And I know that you are all brilliant at your short multiplication now, so we can have a little go. So if I do 123 times by 3, it should give me my original whole, which was 369, to put that down there to see if we get it right. 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3, 3. There's my little inverse to check my answer. So fantastic, well done to you if you got that correct. Let's get on and use this new skill that we've got. So in your books then, I would like you to have a go at these 2 short division methods. Now you can see they've already put their place value counters on the screen for you. So if you want to do what I did and circle how many lots you can make, that is going to really, really help you. Okay, so get me the answer for those 2 and then come on back when you have had to go to see if your answers are correct. Wonderful. So as you can see here, I've just set them up. I've got my counters underneath to help me to see it, to visualize it. So now simply, how many 2s can I make? How many groups of 2 can I make from this 400s here? I can make 2 groups. Okay. How many 2s can I make from this group here? I've got a 2, so obviously 1 group. And how many lots of 2 can I get from this 8 ones here? Is 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Okay, so you can see here, let's just double check. This 4 here stands for 400. It represents 400. Divide it by 2, it will be divided by 4 divided by 2 is 2, and make it 100 times bigger is 200. That's why I've got my 2 in my hundreds column. Okay, here 20, this stands for 20 because I've got my 2 10s. I can make 1 10 10 a 10, sorry, so 20 divided by 2 is 10. I've got 1 10, and 8 ones is our normal division. 8 divided by 2 is in 4, which is in our ones column. Okay, so my answer to the first one is 214. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. 428 divided by 2 is 214. Now this one here, no different whatsoever. It is just having a thousands column. It's introducing that thousands column. It is exactly the same method as you have just done. So let's shrug that out. So I've got a bit of space. So 3, I've got my thousands column. How many lots of 3 can I make with my 9,000 columns here? Dots here. 1, 2, 3. I can make 3 groups. Okay, so remember that number sentence that I'm actually completing there is 9,000 divided by 3, which I've got a 3 in my column, my thousands column, it's 3,000. Okay, so as long as you've got that understanding of what this quicker method is showing us, then that is brilliant. So 600s here, how many groups of 3 can I make from my hundreds? I can make 2 groups, so my answer would be 2 in the hundreds column. How many groups of 3 can I make with my 10s? I can make 1 group. And then how many 3s can I make from these 6 ones? I can make 2. So my answer to 9,636 divided by 3 is 3,212. Well done to you if you got that right. So you can really see there how the partitioning method really shows what is happening at each of these steps. But the short division is just really compacting it down and making it a lot quicker and a lot more simple. Okay, but you need to understand the partitioning side of it so that you can actually understand what those steps are. Okay, so what we're going to have a go at then is a quick little convince me. So everybody can have a little go at this. So convince me glasses on. Over 3 nights, 609 fireworks are set off in the fair. An equal number are set off on each night. So the same number of fireworks are set off on each night. So they're equal groups. The owner of the fair wants to work out how many fireworks were used each night, and the owner does that division there. Can you have a little look at that method and see what the owner has done or if he has made any mistakes? So what I'd like you to do is explain what he has done wrong convince me what he's done wrong, and then show me what it should look like and get me a correct answer, please. And come on back once you have had a go at that. Wonderful. So I'm hoping that you've had a little go at that and you've seen what the owner has done. Okay, so he had got 2, 3, and then nothing in his ones column. Okay, so let's rub that out and let's have a look what he should have done. So remember our method. How many groups of 3 can I make in my 600s? I can make 2 groups of 3. How many groups of 3 if I've got no 10s? If I've got no 10s, how many groups of 3 can I make? I can make none. And then how many groups of 3 could I make from 9 ones? I can make 3 groups. So this is what the owner has done wrong. He has ignored, because that's a 0, he's just ignored that, and he has then put his answer for the ones column into the 10s column. Now, can we do that? Remember those imaginary brick walls in between those columns, okay? If you haven't got any 10s, you still need that 0 in there because it's going to keep them all in their correct place value positions, okay? Because 609 divided by 3 isn't 23. 609 divided by 3 is, in fact, 203. So you can see how important that 0 is in that working out. So just a little note to your brains, if there are no 10s, you still need to put your 0, because I can make no groups, but I still need to keep all the other places in their correct position. Well done to you if you realised that. Wonderful. So your independent activities today is you are going to be doing your power maths. And if you look on your practice books on page 24, again, if you've got access to this practice book, you can fill it in. If not, just copy those number sentences into your books and just do your working out, which I've already seen lots of you doing. Okay? And I'm really, really impressed at all of your setting out and your laying out 1 number per box. Some of your work is looking beautiful. So question 1, you're having a go at the partitioning method. So just like we've done. Question 2, you are explaining what the quickest way to work out 723 divided by 1 would be. So you can see Danny and Olivia's method. What is a much quicker way that they could do that? Question 3 is a little bit of a word problem, okay? And they've put all of the marbles, so you're going to be doing a little bit of grouping there to work it out. And then question 4 is using your short division, and they've done the place value grids for you. C and D, they're asking you to just do this method by yourself, so you can see how they're slowly removing those little bits of help that they're giving you. Then question 5, you are then doing that reverse. So remember, once you're really confident with this method, you can then have a go, see if you can reverse the method. So they've given you some of the answers. You need to work out what the whole might have been, or what the dividing number might have been. Okay, so remember, it's not an expectation that you all get to question 5, question 6. Okay, you get as far as you can, and you just reflect on that and just think, I think I need a little bit more practice on this. I'm not quite ready to go on to that question 5 or question 6 yet. But if you are, then brilliant. You have a go and you go for it. Once you've done those, there is always your reflect at the end. So again, once you are confident with a method, you can then explain it. It really, really helps to solidify, to get that stuck into your brains, okay? So explaining how you would use the short division to work out 4,804 divided by 2. So imagining that you've got somebody in front of you that doesn't know how to do it, how would you explain the method to them? So a little bit of a tiny teacher mode there. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will be back with you for some more maths tomorrow. Enjoy!